Fromania Bricks, and welcome back to the piratiest LEGO studio that you will ever find in our house and on the second floor. Also in this room. Yep. And welcome back to the LEGO table, where we have a classic and a reimagined sitting side by side for our next episode of Fromania Bricks Versus. And today we are doing the vintage 1989 Eldorado Fortress versus the 2023 reimagined Eldorado Fortress. But Caleb, before we jump into this, do you know when the pirate actually started sailing his ship?
When he was 80?
When he let the car go. In front of us, two amazing LEGO sets. The other day, we walked into Bricks and Minifigs of Brentwood, Tennessee. And before I crossed the threshold of the store, I had already mentally prepared myself. And the mental preparation that I went through was there is not a LEGO set in this store that would entice me to buy it today. Not one. And literally, the second I stepped into the store, this bright yellow and white beacon from behind the counter was glaring at me. And it is quite possibly the only LEGO set that would have enticed me to buy it. Yeah. And that was the 1989 release of Eldorado Fortress. Do you know what you call a pirate's son that sets his dad's ship on fire?
I do not.
Arson! So the way this is going to work, we're going to run through our Spuppler categories and compare the two, but instead of giving it a score, we're just going to declare a winner of one or the other. And determine which one of these sets is piratey enough to rise to the top of the collection.
To the top.
So Caleb, on your side, we have the 1989 release of LEGO Eldorado Fortress.
Woo!
When it was on shelves, how much do you think this set cost?
I'm going with $20.
$66.
What?
This was a $66 set.
What in the world?
In 1989, and this is what's really going to blow your mind. 501 elements.
Oh, okay.
Which put it at 13 cents an element. Yeah. Now, we talked today that over 10 cents is pricey for a set. This one was almost 13 cents an element. Save your value thoughts. We're going to get to that. Okay. This set came with 8 minifigures, only one of which were exclusive to it.
Okay.
Came with an incredibly cool plastic molded base plate.
Yes.
That just that base plate alone will set you back a good $50 if you want to pick that base plate up. And do you know how it got its name? Eldorado.
I do not, actually.
So it got its name from actually the phrase El Dorado, which is 2 words, which are the gold, and it was named the Gold Fort because of the yellow bricks on it.
Oh my
And this
goodness.
was outposted by Imperial troops in the tropical sea.
Wow, that's actually incredible. I did not know that. That's awesome.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah.
So on this side, we have the modern remake, the reimagined version of the original Eldorado Fortress. This set hit shelves in 2023, and it's actually retired now.
Really?
It retired December of 2024. This one had 9 minifigures.
Okay.
So one more... Sorry, I've got to interrupt Kyle and Caleb here for a second. You're going to hear me say 9 minifigures a lot. The reality is both Eldorado Fortresses only had 8 minifigures. When I looked this up on Brickset, and I'm just gonna own it, it said 9. And I was just going off of what it said instead of what my own 2 eyes could clearly see in front of me. But Eldorado Fortress 2023 has 8 minifigures. Every time you hear me say 9 or one more figure, just hear me say 8, because that's what it actually has. All right, back to you, Caleb and Kyle. Minifigure than the old version, and all 9 of them were exclusive because there's not a current pirate theme. So all of them were exclusive.
Wow.
It retailed for $214.99.
99 cents.
I love how now, like, we go $214.99 because that sounds better than $215, but they were like No, flat $66.
Yeah.
This one was 2,509 pieces.
Woo!
500 pieces, 2,500 pieces. Almost 2,000 more elements in the build of this set versus this set, which put it right around 8 cents a piece.
That's not bad at all.
Which is wild.
Yeah.
This was in the Icons theme, and this was actually branded as an 18 and up set, whereas that was not the case for the original Eldorado Fortress. So first up, visual design. Man, I don't even know how to begin to compare the two.
Yeah.
Right? 1989, you have a pre-molded formed base plate. The base plate itself is beautiful. It's got a beautiful print on it. This one is absolutely perfect. This set as a whole, when we bought it, the collector that owned this, there wasn't a speck of dust on it. It was pristinely put together, but you've got this really, really unique base plate. Back in the late 80s, early 90s, LEGO did a lot of custom molded base plates, and I am a fan of the aesthetic of the base plate. 2023, it's a completely brick-built foundation, which is part of what creates this massive cost, which means there's a lot more detail built into the foundation as well. When you look at the walkway, one is printed stones, one has built-in stone. All of the greebling in the stones, all of the brickwork, all of the tiling on the roof. Like, I don't even know how to compare the two visually. You get 3 palm trees versus 1 palm tree. An enhanced crane system. Like, to me, it's going to be quite obvious which one wins. But is it? 1989 is when LEGO was LEGO, right? It's like, no offense to the modern designs, but you were limited in what you had and what you could do with it. And it's very blocky, yet it comes together in a quite beautiful way.
This one, obviously, I mean, when you're comparing them, this one just, it looks better. I mean, because they took the time, and they had more parts as well, to build up all of the brickwork for the stone here. But there is something so classic about just the plainness of it, and I mean, I still think it looks great, but this one looks better. And also, when you're considering for the time, like, that this came out comparative to that time, like, it still looks great for its time.
I think, though, we obviously have to go with the aesthetic of today. And I would have to give the win to 2023.
I would probably go to 2023 as well, because just when you're looking at it side by side, it was practically identical how well of a representation they did of this one. And it was executed so well. I mean, this one still looks beautiful, but there's just something about how, like, detailed this one is that I think has it take the cake.
I do have to say, though, I don't remember there being a palm tree on the front of Eldorado Fortress.
There was not. I think this was some little pirate build that I built you that somehow ended up
What?
here. Yeah. Because it's like, I was like, I looked at it and I was like, wait, these are on the older set, so there's no way.
We've already done this much of the video incorrectly.
It's gone.
Next up, build experience. I had the pleasure of building both of these sets. 1989, I bought it assembled, and I was actually really nervous about taking this set apart. The base plate, as I told you, is $50+ for an uncracked base plate.
That's so expensive.
Because of its age, because I don't know if it's been stored in the sun, if it's brittle, I was nervous about building this. But I went ahead and broke it apart to build it anyway. I don't know if it was my nerves in building it or what, but it was kind of tedious for me to build. The way that the pieces latch on... Listen to this. Let's see if you can hear this.
Ooh.
It's putting tension on the base plate the way it's built.
No.
So the build experience was kind of different yet unique. If you've ever looked at instructions from the 80s and early 90s, they are a bear to build.
Yeah, it's bad.
Like, you get the picture, and you don't get any indication of how many pieces were added on a step. You don't get an indication of where they were added. It's like Spot the Difference, right?
Yeah.
If you remember the old magazines with the Spot the Difference, it's Spot the Difference, but building with Lego. So it's really, really hard. I don't even know the amount of times that I moved on and had to go back and redo a step because of it. So it was hard, yet, in a way, it engaged me with a Lego set in a way that I've not been engaged with before. Yeah. it sucked me in a way that I sold myself to building this set in a way that I don't when I'm just flipping and looking at pieces.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think that it's all a lot like the poly bags. Like when you're building a poly bag, it's the same spot, the difference of it, but on a way bigger scale and way more difficult. I can't really speak much to the build experience. It doesn't, like, I mean, I know how horrible the 80s instructions are, but it doesn't look extremely complicated. But yeah, I mean, I think it's awesome.
2023, on the flip side, was a delight to build. So many new techniques, especially when you get into the brickwork on the foundation that built it up. Like, it was really fun to look at how the designers built this up. All of the different brickwork on the side, the way ingots were used on the top, the way that it breaks apart with little hidden things inside of it. It was delightful to build. Bringing back fabric sails after the most recent pirate ship with the brick-built sail was really fun. It was a nice segue into the more recent boat, the Endurance, that we got. So overall, this one was a really fun build experience with a lot of neat techniques. But I'm going to shock you here. And I'm going to credit 1989 with the build experience win.
What?
And here's why. As an AFOL, as someone that grew up with 1989 and then stepped into 2023, there's something special about reconnecting with LEGO sets as I built them as a kid.
Yeah.
And I think that any of the other adult AFOLs out there would look at this through the same lens. There is a special connection that you get to a LEGO set when you're building it and it reminds you of your childhood. Now, younger builders, they're not going to get it. If I gave Caleb these two, you would be like, that's just brick on brick.
Exactly.
That's kind of boring. And you want the interesting techniques.
Yes.
But to me, the win goes to 1989.
Yeah, I would absolutely pick this one because you're learning new build techniques, and like sometimes they can be used like when you're making mocks. Like, okay, I saw this in a set. That would be a great technique to put into practice with building. So I would definitely give it to this one, but I get the respect for giving it to this one.
Next up, we got minifigures.
Yes.
As I stated before, 1989, you've got 8 minifigures. 2023, you've got 9 minifigures. As a whole, you've got kind of the same layout of characters. In 1989, you have 2 pirates and the rest are Imperial soldiers.
Nice.
Now, the pirates that you get Redbeard, and it's a classic Redbeard.
Incredible.
Most of the figs in this set do not have extravagant face printing, but Redbeard has his face printing. And then you've got his little Shmee pirate that's with him as well in his traditional pirate striped shirt. Then you've got Imperial figures to go with it. 2023, you have 2 pirates as well. Only this time you get 1 additional Imperial fig. And my guess is it's because you needed a captain of this ship. There were 2 rowboats in the other set, but this bigger ship, you need someone else dedicated to it. They all kind of follow the same design.
Yes.
When you look at the Imperial soldiers, they have a very similar aesthetic. They both have the shoulder pads, they both have the backpacks, they both have the same hat design, and they wear almost the same torso print. There's some slight variations in the torso prints when it comes to like the wrinkles in the clothing and that aesthetic. One was printed on white in 1989, 2023 was printed on blue. The big variation of figs is that in 2023, you don't get a Redbeard. And I'm really disappointed about that because how amazing would an updated Redbeard have been in this set. Instead, you get the same Shmee looking pirate, and then you get a lady pirate.
Yep.
Which, great, that's fine.
Yeah.
But it's not Redbeard.
Give us Redbeard.
We should have had a Redbeard fig in here. The updated prints are nice, but all of the accessories that the soldiers are wearing are the same. They brought back that same classic gun element, and they brought back the swords. So the biggest variation is found in one thing, and it's found in the pirate. Caleb, how do you feel about the differences in the minifigs on these two sets?
So I think that they are practically 1-to-1. Like when you look at this one compared to this one, it's practically the exact same, just updated colors of parts and things. And like I don't know what you'd call that. I'm going to call it like a feather thing. Like feather on the hat. That's just because they updated that piece. And I mean, it's practically 1-to-1, but there's something so nostalgic about just the classic smiley faces on the figures that really draws me to think that this has the better figures. And of course, you're getting Redbeard instead of the other pirate. I think that they nailed it on these figures, and I think that these actually might be my favorite.
Yeah, and when you say that 1-to-1, they're absolutely 1-to-1,
yeah.
which illuminates the difference of Redbeard. And for that case, and the nostalgic little Lego smiles, because these do have updated smiles. There is a female boat captain that even has a hair mold that's really neat to see introduced into it. But when you look at how similar they are, I am with you. And I'm going to have to credit 1989 with its second point.
Yes!
Thanks to our man Redbeard up there. Now, when you get to playability and functions, there's a lot going on both of these sets. 1989, not quite as robust, but there's still a lot happening. You have a top-mounted cannon and a bottom-mounted cannon. They're both articulating, they both spin, and they both fire as well. You can load a cylinder into the cannon, and you can actually fire the cannon. You also have a trap door down in the middle that goes into this hollow crevice inside of the base plate. Lastly, from a function standpoint, you have this cool little crane on the front of it. Now in 1989, I know they still had the little spindles for ropes because I had it on other sets. But this one is just the rope attached to a stud that will raise and lower, which I don't know that I'm a fan of it because you've got to attach the rope here to have the crate down low. If you want the crate to raise up, you got to take it and attach it down lower on the back. And you've got a little bit of swing motion, but with the rope the way it is, it doesn't swing a lot. You've also got a jail cell in the back with a door that opens, and of course the front doors that open as well. The back side of the set is relatively open where you can play in the back side as well.
One more thing, there's a couple gun outposts to have your pirate rifles, which is actually really cool.
Yes, yeah, so that way you can mount your guys. Now, from a playable standpoint, LEGO had it down in the 80s. Yeah. Like, you can get your hand, even my big AFOL hands, I can get anywhere in here.
Whoa, okay.
There's nowhere that I can't put my hand to play in this set. Now, 2023 is packed full of stuff. Of course, you have the crane that I illuminated in 1989. The crane does have a spinner that will raise and lower itself on the front of it. You have one cannon, two cannons, and in the back, a third cannon.
Trace cannons.
You've got some articulating firearms headed down at the ramp down front. And this is what's wild. This whole set is kind of modular interlocking, where you can actually take it apart and reconfigure it differently based on how you want it.
So this piece comes off right here.
And then I think it splits like this.
Then you've got, oh no. So then you've got this chamber here. And this actually has a really cool function in it that if I can get it to work. It's just like the other trapdoor on this set, but it actually has more of a correct function where there's a little trapdoor and it opens up straight into the sea.
This bigger element, you can see it's got a couple of jail cells in it. There's even a trap door from the jail that then comes out of this waterfall slide where you drop a figure in and he shoots out. You've got a hidden treasure. You've got another tunnel here that has a skeleton tucked away in it.
This one's awesome. There's a little secret area underneath the ramp, which is awesome. The cannon here, there's a couple guns that you can have mounted here. The doors, just like on the original one. And then there's a little writing area for the captain up there. So, incredible. And there's also a little food stove on the other side as well.
And what's neat is that from a playable standpoint, you can now shape and configure this any way that you want to play with it. There's accessories and details and little nooks and crannies hidden throughout this set that are so fun when you really dive into it. So, from a playability and function standpoint, there's a clear winner in this.
There's a very clear winner.
And that's 1989. That did not win. 2023 gets another point in the column, which means we're tied. We are 2-2 heading into the final value round comparing 1989 to 2023. Value. As I said, 1989 retailed for $66. That meant that it was over 13 cents an element. That's a lot. That's a really high price per part count. 2023 retailed for $215, but because it was over 2,500 elements, it was under that magic 10 cents a part. It was 8.7, 8.8, basically 9 cents a part. Now, I know I've said it before, it's not just price per part, it's was it worth the price that you paid for the parts. For me, man, this one was absolutely worth the price per part. Like the value of it, what you get with this set, the playability, the interlocking nature, the 9 minifigures, the mini sailboat, like good grief, for a $215 set, this one was winning all day.
Crushes it.
For a $66 set, that was a lot of money in 1989. That was a substantial price for a set then. This set now in used condition is right around what Eldorado Fortress cost new. So even higher price per part now. Was it worth it to get it? Absolutely, because I wanted it in the collection, because I love the design of it, because I love the aesthetic of it. But was the value there for the set? I don't know that it was there as much in 1989 as it was in 2023. Caleb, talk to me.
So, I would absolutely agree with that. I know that we had talked about, and the figures are better on this set, but that is because of the nostalgia. These are, when you just look at it from a quality standpoint, these are better figures. They have more printing, new molds on them, but, I mean, I would have to probably go with this one, because this was a ton of money back then. And it's incredible, and it's probably worth it, but I feel like this is an exuberant amount of value over here that is just incredible.
You're right. So. The value on this set, what you get for this price point. I mean, when I consider the Krusty Burger that's getting ready to come out, and the price point that that is at, and the size set you get, versus this being a $215 set, and all that you get with it, the value's absolutely there. If I were spuplering this, which I'm not officially spuplering, this would get a 10 in value to me. So to me, final point goes to 2023. I
would agree with that.
Which means in the battle of then versus now, of old versus new, 2023 won. It just inked out and beat 1989. Now, 1989, I'm a massive fan of. I love this set. It is one that will probably not leave the collection because I'm so excited to have it. But 2023 shined in all of the right ways, and it captured the nostalgic AFOL heart while engaging the next generation of builders as well, and truly did what LEGO wants to do, which is create sets that we want to build together. And we hope that that's what you do in the week ahead, that you find that person that you love in your life and that you build together with them. Go build with your kids, build with your spouse, build with your friends, build with whoever. Just find someone to build with and share the experience of LEGO and the beauty that comes from spending time together. Hope that you go out there in the week ahead, that you give more,
you do more,
you share more,
and you love more.
And whatever you do, remember to always show your smile. Those smiles, they truly are
contagious.
Do more, share more.